my name is Chantal Thomas. I am the Family Community Liaison for the neighborhood. Basically, this means that I am a resource person for families living in Peter-McGill in downtown Montreal. Welcome to our very first Naptime session. We're here in the Haute Garderie at the YWCA. Conveniently enough, I'm going to be talking about daycares today. It'll be about 10 minutes of information, and then we'll hang around for about 15 minutes afterwards to answer any questions that you guys might have. Please feel free to start writing the questions in the comments below right away. Write them down now, and then that way I can start answering them right away. All of the information that I'm going to be presenting today is going to be available both on our Facebook page and on our website, famillecentreville.org, for you guys to refer to afterwards. If you have any questions later on that you can't think of right now, feel free to send us a Facebook message and we will answer back as soon as possible. Je vais répéter les mêmes informations aujourd'hui à 14 heures en français si vous voulez revenir à ce point-là. What else do I have to tell you today? So we're going to be doing these for the next 3 Fridays in April. Afterwards, we're actually looking for parents to come and help translate us. If you speak a language that is not French or English and you would be interested in helping us out, please send us a message. We would really, really love it from you. Okay, so let's get started. To begin with, how to enroll your children in daycare. Step 1. Get on the waiting list. The waiting list is one big giant waiting list on laplace05.org. I cannot emphasize enough how much you need to sign up as early as possible. When you're still pregnant is ideal. It doesn't matter if you don't have a due date, if you don't have a sex, it doesn't matter. Sign up anyways with all of your relevant information that you have already. Oh, so sorry, laplace05.com. We will link that website also. Step 2, choose your daycare. There are 3 different kinds of daycares. I'm actually going to be detailing those more in the second half. Suffice to say, we have CPEs, private daycares, and home daycares. Step number 3. Research the daycares that are in your area. What I really, really love about La Place 05 is that they have an interactive map right on the website, so you can see what are the daycares that are near your home, that are near your workplace, near your place of school, and yeah, you can check those out. You can also go to the Ministère des Familles website if you want to see inspection results of each of these daycare, but most importantly, really, talk to your friends. Talk to your friends who are parents, go into playgroups and talk to other parents. Find out what are their daycare experiences. What do they like? What do they don't like? Really research things ahead of time. And remember too that every family is different. What works super well for your best friend isn't necessarily going to be the best match for you, but you want to be aware of all the different options that are out there. Step number 4. Call and set up a visit. There are a lot of daycares that are on the website, so it's a really good idea to pick maybe your top 3 and call those ones. Let them know that you're really, really interested, that they are your #1 choice, and ask for a visit. Most places are not going to give you a visit until they have a space open about 2 months beforehand, but really try and push and do that. I think it's so important for a family to go and get a feel of what the daycare is going to be like ahead of time. Again, everything varies from family to family. Some questions that you can think of ahead of time are things like, do they make their own lunch, or do you want to be bringing your own lunch for your child? Do they have a really rigid structure, or is it more open and free-flowing, playing, whatnot? How warm are they with the other children? What's their discipline style? Is it in line with your own discipline style as parents? Do you want something bilingual? Do you want it in Spanish? All of these things you should be thinking about ahead of time so that when you go, you have all the questions that you want to ask set up. The The last step, the most fun step, is waiting. Most daycares will be accepting children in August and September, as that's when the older kids are moving up into kindergarten, making space for the younger kids. It's pretty hard to get a spot in the middle of winter. If you feel like it's really dragging on, that you haven't, for whatever reason, heard from them, repeat step number 4. Call them up again, reiterate the fact that you're really interested. It's also really good if you already have friends in a daycare to ask them, hey, do you have any spots in this daycare that you know of? And then call right away and be like, my friend told me this. Can I get it? So that is it for enrolling your child in a daycare. Now for the different daycare types as promised. If you guys have questions so far, remember, just put them right into the comments and we'll get to them as soon as I'm done with everything. There is no such thing as a dumb question. So the first 2 kinds of daycares, I'm actually going to lump them together. So there's CPEs, les centres de petite enfance, and private daycares. There used to be a big difference between them, now not so much. Main things to keep in mind is that these tend to be bigger daycares. They can have both single age groups or multi-age groups. If they have a multi-age group, it's usually like the 4 and 5-year-olds together type of thing. They also have much more rigid educational program that they need to enforce. Finally, 2/3 of the educators are required to have a post-secondary education in early childhood. So this means either a 1-year attestation from a college level, a 2-year diploma from a college, or 2 to 3-year diploma from a college level, or a 4-year bachelor's. Any variations between the 2 types of daycares varies by individual location, hence again the importance of visiting a place first. The last type of daycare are home. Oh, gosh. Sorry. I wish we had a budget for better special effects. Anyways, home daycares are, as the name says, in someone's home. The person in charge runs this out of the place that they live in. It is multi-age groups, very small. It's going to be 6 or 9 kids, that's it. They tend to be much more laid back, much more informal. They still have an educational programming, but they have that latitude to have more interesting and nuanced programs to offer. So there's one in Mile End that has all outdoor activities, which I really love as an idea. Also, the person in charge is not required to have an educational background in early childhood. The really interesting thing about home daycares is that as much as possible they're mimicking that family environment. So it's like your child is growing up with their siblings who are all different ages and they're all just playing and running around together and having a good time. So those are the 3 kinds of daycares. This is all of the information that I'm presenting today. As I said, all of this will be up on Facebook and on our website. And yeah, I am now ready to take any of your questions if you would like. You can also message us your questions later on if you didn't get a chance or you have mommy brain and just forgot a question that you wanted to ask. That is not a problem. So yeah, we'll hang around for a few more minutes to take any questions. So one question that comes up often is about payment. We will be answering that question later on in the month, but suffice to say that the new government budget just came out, so everything's changing again. It is a very complicated question, and it depends very much on your status as an immigrant or a Canadian citizen or permanent resident. But yeah, we will get to that question much later on. All right, seems like we don't have any other questions at the moment. As I said, feel free to message us. If they come up later, we'll reply on Facebook. Also, as I mentioned at the beginning, I am a resource person for the neighborhood, so if you have questions about services or activities, also message us and we can refer you to the places that you need to go. Next week we'll be back here, same bat station, for 1:30 next Friday to talk about how to transition your child into daycare so that goes smoothly for you and for your little one. All right, see you guys then.